So I come from divorced parents. My parents divorced when I was 12. I had just started middle school.
Had food, they had shoes, they had the basic things, but they were not very affectionate.
Because honestly, I felt so weird because all my aunties said, and where's your mom? And what happened to my mom? And this and that. And I don't know, sometimes you would feel kind of uncomfortable, like even just speaking to them when they would say hi, because you're like, I don't know, I'm a child. Like, could you leave me alone? Like, why are you asking so many questions? Like, I don't even know. Like, and it's none of their business either way, but still, like, I don't know.
My parents got divorced when I was 16.
16.
Yeah, but at that point, I was already living with my husband. Hola, molcas! Welcome back to Compartiendo Mitote
With Adilene.
and Lupita. Hello. Welcome back to our episode number
6.
Yay! This is our episode number 6. And on this episode, we want to open up to, I would say, a level that not even our own parents know.
Yes.
Our feelings at this point.
We will get very personal.
Yes. But I believe a lot of you might identify with us and a lot of you might not. Mm-hmm. It depends on your point of view.
Yes, because we kind of have the same experience, but we have a
similar
different
background.
Similar background, but our perceptions are different.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And with this being said, we want to speak in regards to the importance of your parents.
Mm-hmm. How that affects you in your life and in your adulthood.
Yes.
And with your relationships and with your kids, with everyone.
Yes.
Everyone around you.
How it impacts your life. Besides anything emotionally, mm-hmm. your feelings, you grow up with a lot of insecurities. Mm-hmm. And you sometimes grow up with looking for love and approval.
Mm-hmm. Of others, yeah.
Yes.
It kind of shapes you.
Do you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it shapes you in a way that you tend to repeat the same pattern? Like you look up to someone that's similar to your parents?
Yes.
As your significant other or as a boyfriend or as like a...
I think so, because I didn't have the exact experience as my mom, but very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, without, like, very, ¿cómo te diré? O sea, sin saberlo.
Without knowing.
Yeah, without knowing. And my mom, I don't think she would want me to go what she went through, but, I mean, I didn't go as much as she did, but it's something very similar.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, and with this being said, let's go ahead and get started with our parents' background first, mm-hmm. to give you an idea of who are our parents.
Who we are, why we are the way we are, to show you guys a little bit more of where we come from.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you want to start?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You want to cry already?
Yeah. Okay. So I come from divorced parents. My parents divorced when I was 12. I had just started middle school. My mom left my dad because of alcohol use, drug use. He would go on Fridays and Saturdays. He would go drink with my uncles or with his friends, and he wouldn't come back until like the morning.
Oh my God.
Well, my mom would always be crying because of that, and I think that's the reason why they didn't work out. And I remember that my mom used to be, she's been very hardworking her whole life. She was a really clean person. My dad's house, she would clean the windows outside. She would always clean the walls. She would even clean the carpet, the rodillas. I was like, oh my God, like she was obsessed with cleaning. Besides, I guess she gets that from my grandma too, but she would clean, like, su casa estaba siempre spotless. And my dad, he was very hardworking too, but he would drink. He wasn't as affectionate.
No.
At all. What else?
How many siblings does your parents have?
Oh, I was an only child. There was only 3 of us.
Only-
So my mom, dad, and myself.
And you,
So I was an only child.
the only child in the like from that relationship.
Yeah, from that relationship. Yep. What about you, Lupita?
Well, me, I have a little background. So, my mom was raised in a small town in Chihuahua. She had 6 siblings, 5 sisters, 1 brother. One of her sisters passed away. And my mom was raised very humilde, very humble. They didn't have much. And besides where they used, like, where they lived, it was a small little, like, literally it was such a small town that up to now I believe there's not many people in there. They would have no electricity. They would have no running water. They would get their water from the river. And they would mainly live on from like the land and the animals, that they would all work together as a family. Yeah. She said that her parents would focus on like providing for them food, make sure they had food, they had shoes, they had the basic things, but they were not very affectionate. She said that she never even saw them like give a kiss to each other. They were not like they wouldn't like express their love like for with their children, like tell them hola mijo, ¿cómo estás? Or how's your day, sweetie? Cositas así. She said no. And that's basically it for my mom. My dad, on the other side, he was raised on a neighbor town from where she was raised, and he they both attended school up to 6th grade. That was the highest education they got. And my dad has 2 sisters, 4 brothers, and one of them passed away. Well, a couple of them had passed away. But whenever like he was raised, it was just one that passed away. And my mom said that because my dad was a very alcoholic person, he would drink a lot. And in my house, there would be a lot of domestic violence, verbal abuse. Yes. And my mom said that whenever he wasn't drinking, he would say that they were raised very, very, like, eran muy pobres. They wouldn't have shoes. They wouldn't have food to eat. They would have to go to houses to ask for food because they didn't have food. That's what my mom says, that he would comment to her whenever he was sober. But I mean, right now I wouldn't be able to confirm that because my dad has passed away. So does my grandpa and my grandma. Yeah. And like my family from the side of my dad, they don't really talk to me. Whenever my parents, because my parents are as well divorced, same from you. But whenever my parents divorced, I guess the side of the father family divorced as well, because they didn't talk to me as well.
It's very strange when your parents divorce, because honestly, I felt so weird because all my aunties said, and where's your mom? And what happened to my mom? And this and that. And I don't know, sometimes you would feel kind of uncomfortable, like even just speaking to them when they would say hi, because you're like, I don't know, I'm a child. Like, could you leave me alone? Like, why are you asking so many questions? Like, I don't even know. Like, and it's none of their business either way, but still, like, I don't know. They would always want to know more. And I'm like, why are you asking a child that? Like,
you said your parents got divorced when you were 12?
Yeah, when I was 12.
Yeah, my parents got divorced when I was 16.
16.
Yeah, but at that point, I was already living with my husband. Like, I had already moved out of my house. I know, que joven, right? I know, crazy stuff. I told my husband I have lived more with you than with my own parents. But sometimes you also have to see of the perspective of what you put out to your children, you know, because like I was mentioning, I was growing up with a lot of domestic violence, verbal abuse, alcohol use. Besides that, like, I would always see my parents like argue, and my dad being disrespectful to any of us, that in my mind it was like, oh, I think that's like I think that's the way people should treat you. I think that's the way you get loved. You know, because I was always seeing that. Like, it's not like something that's like I honestly, I'm gonna be really honest, and I believe that the person that has treated me with the most love ever has been my husband.
That's good though.
He showed me a different way, you know, of love. He showed me that it didn't have to be disrespect or humiliation or any type of abuse.
And it's sad to think, but sometimes I know people, like your parents tell you, don't do this, don't do that. But I think we kind of lead by example. So whatever we see
Is what
is what we learn, is what we know.
Yes, because like
It's
now
like them too. Like them, they learn from their parents. So that's why they're
the
kind
way
of
they
like
are.
their parents.
Yes, and like you said, now it makes sense whenever they say child are sponges. They absorb, they learn everything they see.
And hear.
It is true. To me, honestly, I wouldn't think like of all those things affecting me up until now. I'm already in my 30s. Like, o sea, como que ya reflexioné.
Y yo creo también a veces nuestros papás, a mí mi mamá antes no me decía así como me dice ahora siempre antes de irnos o whatever, te amo, like, siempre estás raro, se me hace yo decirlo a mi mamá. I mean, I love her, but I don't really say it that much, but she tried to change that with us, because ve cosas en TikTok, ve tantas cosas y dice, no, like, yo voy a parar esto, like, esto, lo que a mí me hicieron, nunca me dijeron, like, yo sí lo tengo que hacer con mis hijos y yo voy a hacer esto y lo otro, like, todo lo contrario de lo que ellos aprendieron de sus papás. Y nosotros viceversa, porque también, okay, si esto pasó con nuestros papás, okay, ahora con mis hijos voy a tratar de hacer esto diferente.
I wanna be different. I wanna change.
Sí.
No quiero ser igual.
No quiero ser igual, ajá.
I think que es cierto, like, you don't wanna be the same. Maduras and reflexionas y quieres, like, hacer cambios. You know?
Buenos que te vayan,
sí que te vayan ayudando.
Por ejemplo, yo siento que cuando mis papás se divorciaron, siento que mi papá se divorció casi de mí, como que he would blame me. I mean, he didn't say it, pero I felt like somehow like yo tenía que ver ahí, aunque pues no, nada que ver, ¿verdad? O sea, ellos toman sus propias decisiones. Y al pasar eso, o sea, nunca tuve una relación con mi papá, like ever. Like a good father-daughter relationship, we never had. And me acuerdo hasta una vez que mi mamá, cuando ya se habían separado, le dije a mi mamá, ya me quiero vivir con mi papá, ya no quiero vivir contigo. Me dice, bueno, vete, me alistó la maleta y todo, me fui con mi papá, ¿no? No aguanté ni un día en la noche. Mi papá le habló a mi mamá, tu hija está llorando, ven por ella, ya no aguanta, que se quiere ir contigo, que te extraña. Pues es que yo siempre estuve con mi mamá, mi papá casi nunca estaba ahí, like, sí estaba ahí, pero nunca estuvo presente conmigo, like, como un papá debe estar ahí, like, no. He was never there. I mean, he was there, like I mentioned, pero basically como si no estuviera.
Do you remember that they got divorced?
Yes, I do. Because it was very traumatic.
Really?
So, my dad came to the house. He was all drunk, and he was probably on some drugs. I don't know what drug he was on. They were arguing, and then my dad, I guess he was trying to do something to my mom in the kitchen. I remember that my uncle and my cousin were there with my dad. And then my dad had a gun that he would use with the cows, too, porque tenían...
¿Vacas?
Sí, tenían vacas y con esa las usaban para matar a las vacas, ¿no? Entonces que mi papá vaya a agarrar la pistola.
Oh my God.
Y trató casi de matar a mi mamá.
In front of you?
Yeah, and she was yelling, so mi primo y mi tío salieron del garage corriendo para adentro. Le decían a mi papá, cálmate, ¿qué estás haciendo? No, no hagas eso. Ya, pues lo pudieron calmar, gracias a Dios, o no pasó más. Pero I saw that, and I heard all that, and I started crying. And I remember my dad saying, no, like, ¿cómo cree que yo voy a matar a su mamá? Le digo, well, I just saw you, like, what are you talking about? Like, I saw you with my own eyes, like, you were about to literally kill my mom. And al último, pues ya, esa fue la última noche. Ya después de eso, we left the house. I was like, do you want to leave? Are you okay with us, like, going away and not being with your dad? I'm like, yes, like, definitely, let's go. Like, esto no está sano. Y últimamente he hablado ahora con mi mamá y me dice, te digo algo, yo sentía, dice, como que En veces como que me quería hasta matar yo sola. Y te quería llevar a ti conmigo. I was like, what, mom? Like, when? Like, no se dio ni cuenta que
Like
eso...
suicidal.
Like, suicidal. Dice, yo me quería llevarte a ti porque decía, si yo me voy, ¿quién la va a cuidar? I'm like, damn, I'm like, you were depressed. O sea, sufrió depresión, muchas cosas que yo no sabía. Que ahora de grande me lo ha contado. Pero it was bad. And now that she tells me, I'm like, oh, like, thank God, I know. Todos los niños quieren ver a sus papás juntos. Like, you don't want your parents to ever divorce. Pero en veces, yo creo que sí es mejor que se separen. Porque mira, like, it's scary.
But especially when it comes to domestic violence and threaten against your life, you know. Yeah, you need to speak up and get going.
Sí, it was crazy. Crazy. Thank God I didn't go further, pero... What about you, Lupita?
Me, when my parents divorced, like, I'm telling you, like, since I was little, like, I remember my dad always being very alcoholic. In fact, my mom says that he started drinking at the age of 16. And he would always, like, he would be drunk. He was a mechanic, and he was so smart on his job. Yeah, like, on his job. But he had, como... He would be like always angry, like como que estaba siempre enojado. Like he would have like anger towards everything, you know. And he wouldn't go to church. Because I remember whenever I was little, we would go to church and entrarnos a la misa, whatever. He would always wait outside. He would never go inside. And whenever like he would get drunk, he would always see like, I don't know, like evil things and all these things. I don't know if he just never believed in God or nothing. Like my name is Guadalupe, but it's not because of him. Like my name was chosen by my brother. But yeah, it's crazy.
What did he think about that? Have you ever asked?
Who? My brother?
Your dad. Of you naming you Guadalupe.
Well, I never in my life, I never actually like asked him. I remember like when I was little, like I tell you, he was really smart and he was really, really smart on math, even though he hadn't gone to school, like higher education. He was so smart on math. And he's the one that taught me like, because he would help me like, he taught me he wouldn't help me with my homework, but he taught me like math. He taught me how to drive on a tractor.
Oh, damn, look at that.
I know, he told me, because I remember I was 12 and I told him I want to drive. And he said, well, if you want to drive, you need to drive a tractor. Because if you drive a tractor, you can drive anything. It doesn't matter. So he taught me how to drive. Like, affection-wise, he wasn't really affectionate. Like, he wouldn't, like, talk to me, like, really, like, sweet. But whenever, because the majority of the time he was always drunk. So whenever he was sober, he would let me like do his hair, or he would play with me chess. I learned to play chess with him. He would do that. But for the mainly majority of the time I would see him drunk, I would see how he would hit my mom and threaten her. I would see him mad. He would yell at us, humiliate us. That was just like the way he was with me. And like my mom on the other side, she is, and up to now she's still very hardworking. I'm very proud of my mom because right now she is 56 and she's learning English. She's doing her citizenship school because she wants to become a citizen.
She's on it.
Yeah, she's on it. I'm really proud of her. She's like schoolgirl. She has a school. And she was always working. Like she would work. She would go to las parcelas, like not las parcelas, like ¿ya ves las pizcas de manzana? Yeah, she would work there, and I would go with her too sometimes. Like, porque pues we were living in Mexico at that point. I didn't get here until I was, I believe, like almost 10. I believe, if I misbelieve wrong. Well, no, I might be a little bit off on my dates, honestly.
Okay.
I'm getting my dementia ready. But I would always see her, like, working hard. She would always be cleaning the house, even though I was talking to her about this on Monday. And she was telling me, well, it's because you didn't want it to help me clean. You didn't want it to help me do the dishes. You would run away to your grandma's house and you wouldn't come, and your dad was very messy and your older brother was very messy too, and I would always have to clean. I would have to do laundry and I would have to do all these things that I told my mom. I'm like, Mom, like, all the cleaning that you did to the house, what did it give you? Because look, nothing. But I'm asking you for the love and affection that you could have had given me. But she says, like, no, because my parents didn't give me that. And that's how I was raised. Like, that's just who I am. Like, I've always, I try my best, like, on the house side. But sometimes if you're a parent, you have to realize the importance of having a spotless house is not important. What's important is your children. Those children, all those fingerprints, all those messy drawers, all those toys thrown everywhere, they're gonna go away. Those kids are gonna grow, and they're not gonna remember when you were cleaning the house on your knees. They're not gonna remember when you were cleaning the walls. They're not gonna remember if the windows were clean or not. They're gonna remember if you gave them a kiss, if you played with them, if you told them you loved them.
If you hear them, listen to their stories, ask how they're doing.
Yes. So, like, that I didn't had from my mom. Like I say, she was very hardworking, and up to now, she's still very hardworking. But she is not very affectionate. Like, I believe she has me on her contacts under lupe. Like, I'm her only daughter. And she has me under lupe.
Es que I think que antes así era como los crearon, porque así era mi papá y mi mamá. Mis abuelos del lado de mi papá, like, yo nunca me acuerdo que me dan un beso, un abrazo, hasta no hace mucho cuando yo estaba más grande y que los iba a visitar, pues ya they passed away. But I remember the last time I went, I think it's already been a few years, and I would hug them, even though they didn't want to. Like, I know que son muy secos, like, no son cariñosos.
No son cariñosos.
So I would hug her, and I would feel, like, so good. I'm like, oh, like, they're hugging me, porque somos muchos nietos, like, a lot. And I know they're not gonna, like, con todos, pero te digo, ni lo hacen. De todos modos, nunca nos dieron un abrazo, un beso, nada así, ni que nos dijeran que nos quieren, o menos. Pero it felt so good the last time I hugged them. I was like, oh, like... And on my mom's side, they're a little bit more affectionate. And I think they're learned, porque tampoco pues no eran, dice mamá, que te digo, mi abuelita nunca le dijo que te quiero, que te amo, menos. Nunca, ever.
Yeah, my mom, like, on her side, she says que no, nunca, like, they never, like, told her affirmation words or, like, love words. Nunca. On my dad's side, on my memories that I can remember, I don't remember, like, my grandma and grandpa being affectionate to each other or to them, like, their kids. Well, especially to my dad, actually. Let me say it. I don't know, maybe because he was very, like, alcoholic, maybe, like, a troublemaker. Pero, like, I would feel, up to my point of view, I would even feel like they didn't, yeah, they would care less. Because I'm telling you, like, once my parents divorced, like, the whole side of my dad family, they forgot about me. Like, whatever, right? Like, my aunties, they don't call me. My auntie, she called me whenever my father passed away. You know, she says hi whenever I see her on the stores or on church or whatever. She tells me hi, or, you know, or how are you, or little things like that. But she doesn't, like, no me hace parte de su vida. You know what I mean? No me invita, no nada. Yeah. And, like, because the one time I remember a couple of years ago, she was making bread because cocina muy rico. Sí, eso sí me acuerdo, ¿verdad? Cocina muy rico. And she was making conchas, and she was telling them, and my cousin posted them on Snapchat. Because on my cousins, I do talk to my cousins. but mainly like the girls, not the boys. Like I don't talk to the boys. They see me and they act like they don't know me. So I have gotten to a point that I'm like, you know what, dude, I don't need you. Like if you act like I don't know, like you don't know me, believe me, I do not know you. I could care less at this point. Like I have learned that family that doesn't go and be there for you, I'm sorry, like it doesn't matter if it's a family, it doesn't matter if you're my blood, bye, next. Like I'm sorry, like I'm done with that shit. Lo siento mucho, excuse my words, I'm getting a little bit angry, but it's the truth. Like you're taking problems that are not even your problems and you're taking them against someone that is not even part of those problems.
And you probably don't even maybe know your version.
Yes, like you're making all these judgments, seeing what's going on, and just haciendo opiniones and assumptions in there. And you're judging this poor person that's been left behind besides all the trauma, and you're going against that person. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no. You know, like, you cannot stand against that.
And you can't change a person's mind.
And no, you can't change a mind. Like, I'm not going to change your mind. Like, if you don't love me, like, si no me quieres, pues no me quieres. You know, yo no necesito que me quieras. Yo no soy monedita de oro para caerle bien a nadie. A mí, honestamente, me vale que eso. Pero, honestamente, because I'm pretty sure that those family members will see this podcast and they will be commenting or they will be sending me things. But that's the truth. Like, you haven't talked to me in... At this point, my parents have been divorced. I was 16, I'm 31. 15?
Okay.
15 years. So in 15 years, you didn't care? It's okay. You know, you can continue to not to care. Pero, like, honestly, yo sí me siento así, Adilen. Do you feel like that? Or is it just me, like, oh, de ti no se divorciaron?
No, well, I speak to my cousins. I think at the beginning, because of what my dad would be saying about my mom. Some of my aunties or así como los tíos, they were like, I know. Y mi mamá decía, no, yo tengo mi frente en alto, que crean lo que quieran creer, yo no le tengo que probar nada a nadie, de qué hice y qué no hice. Like, ni modo, si no me quieren o creen que esto y lo otro, que lo crean. No, yo sé que no es real y yo tengo mi frente muy levantada en alto. Entonces ahora, ya después de muchos años, like, ahora sí, hablan con ella reta gusto. Una vez fuimos a una fiesta de ellos and they were all laughing. I was like, si mi papá nos viera aquí a todos sus hermanos risa y risa con mi mamá, con mis tías, todas. I was like, si mi papá la viera, estaría ardiendo. Pero es que, ¿cómo diré? No, te digo yo, no, I don't feel like they divorced me, pero it felt awkward, because en cualquier party que íbamos, like, nomás íbamos yo y mi papá. O iba con mi papá los fines de semana cuando pues, ya se habían divorciado, para pasar tiempo con él, y siempre me iba con mis primas, y le digo ahora a mi mamá, ahora que estoy grande, like, yo quería pasar tiempo con él, no con mis primas, like, sí, está bien, me voy a ir con tus primas, porque me acuerdo que me dejaba siempre con ellas, y yo me quería quedar, porque we would have fun. We have all kinds of stories, too, like, together, pero, I wanted to spend time with my dad, but I don't know. And then another thing, every time I would spend time with my dad, he would always be cursing at my mom, cursing at my mom's family, like así, no, like una vez me acuerdo, estábamos dormidas en la sala, mi prima y yo, porque en ese tiempo mi prima vivía con ellos, con mi papá, y estaba echando lonche, y luego he was like saying all kinds of bad words at my mom, and the names of my aunties, and I was like, what the hell, man? Like, are you okay? Like, I really think you need help. Like, I don't think he's all there. Like, está muy enojado, pero like, no entiendo por qué está enojado. Like,
it's because it comes to a point that's another thing. Like, parents don't learn how to co-parent after they get divorced.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, like, your parents got divorced, but you would go with him and he would speak bad about your mom.
Yes.
And how would that make you feel?
Bad, pero, ¿cómo te diré? I was like, what the hell? Like, nunca dudé de mi mamá, like, porque te digo, yo siempre he estado con mi mamá, yo vivía más con mi mamá que con mi papá. Yo sé quién es y cómo es, yo sé, porque yo siempre estaba con ella. Pero ahora que estoy grande, te digo, así que mi papá hablaba y se expresaba de ella, digo, qué feo, porque ¿cómo te puedes expresar de alguien que supuestamente querías así? Like, ¿en serio si la querías o estás dolido oh, maybe necesitas ayuda. Like, in veces, like, I would want to talk to him and see if he's okay, because I know I haven't talked to him for years now. Like I mentioned, I don't have a good relationship with my dad. The last time I saw him was a cousin's birthday, but I didn't even say hi. And I remember one time when my daughter was born, I went to another party of my cousins, and he was there. And he got close to us, and he said hi. And they said that after we left, my dad was crying because I guess my daughter pues no lo reconoce. O sea, es su abuelo de sangre, pero no lo conoce. Nunca lo ha visto en su vida. No sabe ni quién es, nada. Y mi papá was like very hurt. But come on, like, I'm here. I'm willing to talk to you. Like, oh, quiero arreglar y enmendar eso. Y su orgullo no lo deja. Y yo también, ¿verdad? Un poco orgullosa porque no he ido, yo sé dónde vive. Que unas veces sí he querido ir, just to get it over with, but, I don't know, te digo, es que también, bueno, y te digo algo, mis abuelos aquí también, mi abuelito, bien orgullosa era. So I get it, I get why he is that he is, pero try to help yourself, like, come on, like, ya estamos en otra época, like, get over it, you're okay.
Yes. And you know, like, that gives me to a point too, Adilene, because like my parents, when they got divorced, like the day they got divorced, my dad left to Mexico. So I'm under DACA, which means I cannot travel outside of the United States.
So you weren't able to see him?
So he left to Mexico. And he seemed like he divorced of his kids. Like, he wanted to be, like, do his own thing with his life. And I never, ever, after that, got to see him again. I talked to him maybe once or twice. But at that point, like, my mind and myself, I was very, like, confused with all these emotions because my parents had divorced and now my mom was living her best life, right? And I had a sibling, my little brother, which I was taking care of, doing things that my mom should do there because she was the parent, I was the sister. And besides that, whenever like me and my mom would talk, she would always say, no, it's because he was so mean, or like she would always talk bad about him, which I understand there was a lot of things that happened in the relationship, but she didn't like separate it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to understand that whenever you have a kid with a person or un hijo, when you have un hijo con esa persona, you have to be so mindful of what you're saying to them because it will hurt their, like, like, tu mente, you know what I mean? Like, those are things that can hurt you the most. Those are things and words that can make you or break you forever. So yo estaba muy dolida con mi papá. I was really, really hurt whenever he would call me. I would only talk to him for like a couple of seconds and like I wouldn't have much to say, you know. And I used to see, and I have told you this before, and you know it. And if you are out there and you're struggling having a relationship with your father, I want to tell you my story so it doesn't happen to you. Because I have always said, I used to see death as, oh, it's normal. We're all gonna die. It's gonna be all right. You're gonna be okay. But let me tell you, that's not how it works. Because my dad passed away in 2019. And up from that day, when I woke up, like, I knew when I woke up, this day, you're never gonna forget it. This day, he's not here no more. I could feel it in my heart, like something in me had left this planet. Like, I could, cuando te dicen la sangre llama, like la sangre llama, like I felt that day when I woke up, he's gone. And you won't get a chance to talk to him, you know? And yeah, because like on that afternoon is when I got that text message from my cousin saying that he had passed away. And then my auntie, she called me, and of course she didn't tell me he had passed away. She just said, "Oh, he's really sick. We need your brother to call." But he wasn't sick. He had already passed away. And it's really sad because he passed away by himself due to his alcoholism, being on his 50s, like no estaba tan grande, and just him by himself, like not even having no one to try to help you, because basically he choked with his own like intestines, everything like dissolved, and he choked because of all the alcoholism, all the alcohol.
That sounds painful.
And like after that day, like I remember even the day that lo estaban enterrando. Like I remember because my mis suegros, they were here, my in-laws, and we went to the mall that day. And I remember I didn't even knew the time that he was like lo estaban enterrando. And I remember like I started like shaking like this, like in the mall, like I couldn't stop shaking. It was something I wasn't controlling. And then like later, like my brother told me no, that like we lo estamos enterrando, and it's true, like when they say like la sangre llama, it is like la sangre llama, and it doesn't matter if you had a good or bad relationship. It doesn't matter what had happened that will hurt you the most, because I wish I could go back in time and tell him no matter what, I still love you. Because whenever he would ask me, ¿qué quieres que te regale de Navidad or for your birthday or things like that? I would tell him, just a day without you drinking. Just don't drink.
That must be hard. Imagine telling your parents, like, yeah, something they can control. Like, I mean, maybe, how can I explain? Like something they can do, but they're just not willing to do it. They don't think it's a problem. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see it. I don't know. I can't put myself on that, like, and see, like, en tus pies. Like, I don't know, like, what. I'm sorry. I don't know, like, what's going on through your mind. But all these things that you're seeing, it's affecting you, because as you grow up, you tend to look for someone. They say that you tend to look for someone that's similar to your dad. Do you think so?
I think so.
Really?
I feel like it kind of happened. Not completely, but yes. Like, yeah.
You
it
did?
happened.
How? So whenever you were looking, like, cuando andabas buscando un muchacho, were you exactly looking for someone like him? Or ¿qué lo que buscabas?
No. Like, buscaba, como yo ya vi eso que mis abuelos, they were borrachos. So both sides. Eran mujeriegos, borrachos, eran desorden. Like, no fueron buenas parejas, ni parejas ideales, ni... Yo sé que no hay unas perfectas, ¿verdad? Pero algo, no sé, llevadero, sí, decente. So, bueno, ellos dos. Y luego, pues mi mamá, con mi papá pues también era así igual casi. And I'm like, holy cow, I don't want something like that. Like, no. And then, even my stepdad too was también. And I'm like, I don't want no one like that. Like, I want someone who doesn't drink, who doesn't do this and that. Y pues no tomaba todo el tiempo, pero sí hacía algunas drogas. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I was looking for the complete opposite, and I kind of got something similar. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah. Because, like, me, honestly, like, so I've been with my husband for 16 years. Imagínate. So I know. Ya menos los 20. 25. ¿Cuántos son todos esos? I don't know. I'm going to have to go look it up. But, like, whenever I was, like, cuando empezamos a vivir juntos, like, I remember I told him, like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want you to mistreat me. I don't want you to disrespect me, But at that point, like I had said before, I was coming from a house where that was, to me, that was their love language. That was normal. You know what I mean? It wasn't normal. That's not normal. But I would see it normal because I would have had I had been used to it.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I started living with him, at the beginning, yo siento que yo era un poco rebelde because of the way I had been raised. Because of all the things that I had seen. Like, I was like a little, like, como rebelde to, like, for him to give me a kiss or to hold hands or cosas así.
Like, you didn't want to?
No, because I wasn't raised like that,
And I think it felt weird. That's another topic.
Yeah, but like to me at that point, like it was like that. I was coming from a house which was full of violence and things, but I didn't want it that. But I didn't know how to end that, like how to finish. Whenever they say like you repeat patterns, well, I wanted that pattern to be done here with me. That was it. You know what I mean?
To break the curse.
Yeah.
Generational
To break curse. Like your, yes. So I remember like I told him like I don't want this, this, and this, and this. And I won't accept this, this, and this. Like I remember one time, I'm going to tell you. Poor my husband, right? Well, yeah, apenas nos habíamos juntado. And he had gone to una rifa. Que iban a rifar una troca. I don't know where. Pero se me hace was Los Lunas or Belén or Cerro Misión, somewhere like that. So he had gone. And he told me that because he didn't came home that night. He did not came home. That's the only night he hasn't come home. Like that's the only time. But he didn't came home. And then the next day that he came home, he said, well, I was drinking, so I had to stay there because who was going to bring me? And I remember I told him, well, I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm not going to take that. Like, I'm not going to take you. You're going to go out to drink and leave me here in the house. And you're not going to come home. I'm not taking it. Like, I do have a very bad relationship with the alcohol because of what I had seen my dad. That I straight up told him, like, I'm not going to take that. Like, if you want to do that, like, that's good for you. Like, you can continue. And I will have to go and look for my survival, Because I was still a teen. I was, like, 16 years old. I think I was pregnant with my son. And that was the only time ever since, like, that he had done that. Because he knows, like, I do... I can go out to bars and things like that, but I have a really bad relationship with the alcohol. Like, I don't like to go... Like, con like, mucha gente, like, drinking. No.
Me neither. But I think it's because we saw our dad, or
like all the things that harmed you.
Yes. And that sometimes can destroy your life, I feel like. Because I think about my dad, I'm like, if he weren't to drink, I mean, he was hardworking, he was everything else, but why drink? Like, and then if you're sad or depressed or something, imagine drinking, it's gonna make it worse. I would believe, and it is a depressant. I've seen that on Google, so I don't get why they do that. And I think sometimes they want maybe to like olvidarse de sus cosas, porque pues, o sea, también ellos tienen traumas, ¿verdad? De pues, sus abuelos y así, de sus papás. Pero esa no es la manera correcta. Va a ir a terapia. Siento que eso ayudaría más.
But I think too on like arts, like Hispanic, Mexicanos especialmente, like you go to therapy, like estás loca, like you are crazy.
I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, like yo no estoy loco porque voy a ir a terapia. Like yo no lo necesito. Eso es nomás para las personas locas. I think there is a big stigmatism on that because mental health is really important,
Yes, I wish I could go to therapy. I would love to go to therapy, but I think it's a little bit expensive. Pero gastamos en otras cosas.
Unnecessary things. Like we have to mark our priorities. First your health, and that comes from your mental, your physical, everything.
Emotional, todo.
Did you ever felt like abandoned by your parents?
Not my parents, but my dad, yes. Like I mentioned, when we divorced again, when they divorced, like they divorce you.
Yes.
And they shouldn't be like that. Because I'm still your daughter, even though I'm old. Like, you still need your dad. Like, I feel like if I were to have my dad in my life, it would be a lot different. Because I feel like because of that, I have a lot of low self-esteem. I feel like that. Esa fue la manera que me ha impactado.
You have a low
no sé si
self-esteem.
tiene que ver, pero también ahora que me pongo a pensar, like, digo, ay, no, los hombres dicen, ay, no, los hombres dicen, and I'm like, do you think it comes from there too?
I do think because it's what you had seen.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've never seen a guy who has treated anyone, like, como se debe tratar. Y ser como debe ser. Like, in my family, like, no one. Not even one. Honestly. Being truthful.
No?
They're gonna get mad, pero no he ido casi a nadie que sea como la gente.
Que trate a su pareja como su pareja.
Sí.
Well, it's because I feel, I don't know, like relationships are a whole different topic. But I feel relationships are between two persons. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not just what one person gives. Mm-hmm. It's what both person gives. Mm-hmm. And sometimes one person gives the 5%, and sometimes the other one has to pick up the 95. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the other one might be 50, and then might be the other one 50, and then it might be that you have to del suelo levantarte juntos because things will happen and you know, relationships are hard. Mm-hmm. But I do feel that, like, for example, for my dad, when he used to, like, drink a lot all the time, like, I would feel abandoned. Mm-hmm. Like, I would feel like I wouldn't have specifically a dad. Mm-hmm. And then on my mom, I would also feel abandoned because she was focused on all the things that were going on with my dad and having the house clean and all these things going around the house, that she wouldn't focus on the kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I felt like, for example, like, I love my siblings, you know. Don't get me wrong. I love my mom. I love my siblings, you know. Mm-hmm. I love my dad. But things happen. But I feel that that's something else too en nosotros, nuestra cultura. Mm-hmm. Because whenever parents have a kid and they have an older sibling, it seems like the responsibility of that kid is the older sibling's responsibility. Mm-hmm. And let me get that clear.
Or you know what too? Based on that thing, I feel like the mom too. Like, el papá, ¿cómo te diré? Like, siempre también como que la responsabilidad, o no sé si porque la mamá se empieza a hacer todo, que nunca pide ayuda, que se queda haciendo todo. Y como quien dice, even not educating, raising. Even though you have a partner, sometimes
you kick up, like, you knock off your partner because mm-hmm. you start doing everything by yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't learn that. That's what I'm telling you. Like, relationships, it's because it's hard. Like, but everything comes when you have to change your mindset. Mm-hmm. Because, like, como te está diciendo, like, with the, like, mom's older siblings, mm-hmm. like, you have to be responsable of how many kids you want to have. Mm-hmm. And you have to be responsible and say, okay, I am capable of taking care of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Mm-hmm. That means that whenever you have your second child, your oldest child should be able to go to their soccer practice, should be able to do all the things that they already do, mm-hmm. because it's not their job to babysit. It's not their job to raise their sibling. Mm-hmm. And that's something that on our side, like, siento yo en nuestra cultura, mm-hmm. es muy, like, oh, no, pues,
cuida a tu hermanito, cuídalo.
Cuida a tu hermanito. Anda, cuida a tu hermanito. No, that's not the responsibility of the sibling. That's yours. Like, we need to stop putting responsibilities on our children mm-hmm. when we are the adults that have decided to bring another children into this world.
I agree, because it's not only just feeding your child, dressing the child. No, it's a lot more than that.
Yes.
Like, a lot.
Because you don't want later on your kid to come out on YouTube and tell you all these things, right?
Expose you.
Expose you.
Just kidding.
But what you were saying too about like, moms taking all the responsibility, I feel that is true. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, with my husband, mm-hmm. like, I used to be that type of person that I would, like, take care of this, like, everything. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, no, I shouldn't do that because they have like, for example, like my son, like he has a dad, my daughter, he has a dad, and he has to be part of their life. So I was like, you know what? No, like you have to pick up this responsibility or this responsibility or this responsibility. Which one do you like? Choose.
You can
Multiple options. Pick it up. Why? Because he's your kid. And I remember at the beginning, my husband wasn't really happy. You know, he was
that's your
like,
job.
he was like, no, that's your job or whatever. And I'll be like, no, like you're a dad. That's your job. You have to be part of their life. And I remember that one time his sister told him, imagine when your daughter grows up and your daughter's gonna say, oh, my dad took me to school. Oh, my dad carried my backpack. Oh, my dad helped me tie my shoes. Oh, my dad made me breakfast. Oh, my dad took me to this activity that I wanted to do. Oh, my dad colored with me. She told him, and she was like, that's gonna be the most like la memoria más importante of her life.
And that's gonna determine, I feel like, see, like I wish I had that with my dad, because then when you choose a partner,
you want someone like your dad, since your dad has always treated, like, te ha tratado como reina. Tú quieres a alguien que te trate como reina.
Y si tu papá no, ni te hacía en el mundo, pues después te consigues a alguien igual.
Que tampoco te hagan el mundo.
Tampoco te hagan el mundo. Yep. Sí, es que that's how important it is.
Yes, like, it's see, o sea, we can express how important your dad is, you know, and your mom is, and how important it is to give your child una palabra like the afirmación, because like I didn't went through like college. I know you did, but like I remember when I graduated middle school, my mom and my dad, listen to me, they did not went to my graduation.
No, I have the same story for college. No, for high school, I invited my dad, and he didn't go.
He didn't go?
No. I was like, oh. See, so stuff like that, like even just him showing up, I would be happy.
Like, you're looking for their approval. You know what I mean?
For them to be proud of you.
From them to be proud of you. Besides that, you want to make them happy. Like, you want to show them, I accomplished this because of you. You know, I worked so hard because of you. But you want to listen to my mom? What was her excuse?
No, what's her excuse?
She said, I didn't went to your graduation because I was working. And I was like, don't be a liar. You didn't even work at that time. And it's just like, I wasn't working. I had an appointment. So that gives you another thing. Don't miss out on the important things of life. I'm not going to say don't work. No, work. But whenever your kids have important stuff going on in their life, be present. Because I have seen a lot of that on social media that says it's better to be present and live the story than come home and have them que ellos te la cuenten.
And it's true, because I've seen TikToks donde unos niños like andan buscando a sus papás a ver si están en el público, and they're like just looking and looking, and then they see their parents and then their smile. I'm like, like, ¿cómo tiene que ver?
Yeah, because they give you such a like support, you know. Because like I remember when I graduated middle school, like, uy, mira, yo tenía all these certificates que me habían dado because I had to work so hard, and I remember I was competing with my friend against who was gonna receive the most, and I received the most. Of course, I won. And then like you have to go and speak in front of all this audience, because when I graduated from high school, it was valedictorian. Yeah, I had to make a speech as well for my generation, for my class. And like you have to go and speak in front of all these people, that whenever you go, you're looking for that face, like your mom, your dad, you know, you're looking for them. and then you don't see them. And my mom tells me, well, I got there, it was a little bit late, but you were like, everyone was done, because I do remember that, like, ya se había acabado todo. And then she says, I got there, and you were like, no, pues vámonos. I was like, of course, I'm going to tell you, let's go, because ya pasó.
Ya
like,
se acabó.
you know, ya se acabó.
Que sí.
Yeah.
Bueno.
At the, whenever, like, your mom went at tu graduación?
Yeah, she went to my graduation. Both graduations. My one from my college, I graduated with my cousin. We've always been kind of together. Ya este año también nos tocó graduarnos juntas. And I saw my uncle. He's like the only uncle who is there for their kids. Like, well, I mean, the other uncles are too, but he's like very, very present. And él fue, and I was like, oh, like, I wish I had that. Like, my dad not here. I mean, I didn't even invite him this time. This time it was my fault. I didn't invite. But since he didn't go to my high school, I was like, ooh, post college, menos.
Forget about that one.
I didn't even try inviting him. So only my mom, my auntie, and my cousins. One of my cousins went.
Went to your graduation. And were you looking, like, for that approval from your mom to say, like, I'm proud of you? Like, you made it? Like, what did she told you?
She told me she was proud, but because I would struggle a lot because I had already my daughter to study, and it was kind of hard. But I have to work, thank God. My stepdad and my mom me mantenían, como quien dice, para que yo acabara. But I did see that everyone had balloons and flowers and this, and I would have been good just like esta una que le hace, but no, I didn't get nothing. I was like, oh, like, I mean, I know you're proud. She gave me money. I did get my present. But I was like, oh, like, I want flowers and balloons too. And no. And nunca me dijo así, like, I'm proud of you. But, I mean, she wrote a letter. I guess she kind of did, pero no me lo dijo. Maybe como yo quería escucharlo. I don't know. I don't remember, Lupita.
No?
That much, pero we do look for our parents' approval sometimes. And again, just stating that them hearing, us hearing them, that they are proud of us. I think that's a very big one that we want to hear as their children.
Do you think because you don't have your dad present in your life, you start growing up more like masculine instead of feminine? Like, you want to be like, oh, I want to do all these things by myself. And you have a partner and you're like, quítate aquí. I can do it. I'm Superwoman.
I think so. Because I've seen my mom go through 2 divorces already. And I'm like, the first time she went without nothing, se quedó sin nada, so she has to start over again. And then she started again, and she's like, nope, this is not going to happen to me anymore. So she got a little bit more smart, and she's like, no. And me seeing that, I don't know, I feel like, yeah, you have to be careful nowadays, because you don't know. I mean, I know matrimonio es de dos, pero sometimes I feel like seeing all that makes you think that maybe you want everything alone, just in case, because there's people who se aprovechan too.
So,
and I'm scared. I don't know.
Because of all you see, you're like, tienes miedo and you don't trust that easily?
Yes, I don't, because some people are very, you know, imagine you struggle so hard, you work so hard to get your house, you work so hard for everything, and then I know you have to get 50-50, or they'll help you with 50-50, or however se acomodan. Pero empezar de nuevo otra vez, like, está cañón. And then you get older. Like, my mom's already older, and she got this house, and I'm like, Mom, aren't you worried of how you're gonna pay? Like, I don't know, like, ya te pone dudas y te empiezas así a pensar así más independiente, like, no, yo puedo, yo voy a hacer esto sola, yo voy a tener esto, yo todo, just alone, just in case. I know, not a good way of thinking, I think, pero that's how I believe now, with everything I've seen. What about you?
Do you feel... Sorry, Adeline.
No, go ahead.
No te dejo nada.
No, go.
Do you feel like before looking for a relationship, there's things that you need to heal inside?
Yes. First of all, I need to go talk to my dad. I know that for sure. My self-esteem. What else? Yeah.
Your trust? Because you don't trust. Y luego eres bien stubborn.
Yes, soy bien terca.
Sí, eres bien terca.
Y un poco orgullosa también. I think I get that from my dad too.
¿Tú crees? No, yo no te considero orgullosa.
¿No orgullosa? No.
No.
No, porque...
Like, terca sí, porque he trabajado contigo and you're like, no, I can't do it.
This is not gonna do
Por
it.
eso,
No,
yeah,
my mind.
that's why I'm like, terca sí sé que sí eres terca.
But you know what? I don't know. Now that you también me pongo a pensar en eso, I think I've always, so maybe because my parents divorced, I don't know. I always wanted to be very independent. Like since high school, I was already thinking like
Or maybe because you saw the things that had happened between like your mom and your dad, that you were like, no, that's not going to happen to me. So I'm going to do everything by myself because no one's going to come and hurt me.
Maybe.
So you don't know how to trust.
No.
Like me on my side, I have healed my inner child because, like I have said before, like me before I was not very affectionate. You know, I would get angry easily. Like, sí, no me ves así. Sí,
No, eso te iba a decir. Yo nunca te he visto enojada, Lupita.
No, I would get angry easily. I would say I wouldn't like trust you to like 100.
You would always be like
I would have my guard up. And what else have I done? And I would like, for some reason, I would have on my mind a very like negative thinking. Because like I would see my dad being so negative, and then my mom being talking always negative about my dad, that I would always like think negative, you know, like think negative. That was like my thing.
You curse yourself.
Yes. And like now it has been a long process, because I believe I started this process around when I was 23. Like I started to change. Like I started to say, you know what, like angry is not gonna take you nowhere. You know, there's no reason for you to be angry at no one or at anything, you know. I started to change the way I would think, basically by like going back to church and focus on church. I also have, I don't know if it's like related to this or not, but like, I don't know if that happens to you, but sometimes I would go to work and I would felt like I would bring my work to my house. Like all those things.
All the stress.
Yes, and that I have stopped. Like if I go to work, I clock out, that's it. Like I don't remember nothing. I don't know who you're talking to me about. I have reset my mind. I don't know. Like honestly, like I just reset and I'm like, bye. Because like my house is my sacred place, you know, like yeah, like I haven't seen my children in 8 hours. I'm not gonna come and stress them about something they don't even know. So like, yeah, like work stays at work, but that has also changed. And besides that, I have changed being affectionate, not only to my partner, but to my children. I have changed to the in the mornings, like whenever they woke up, like good morning mommy, or good morning baby, because I call my son baby. He's not a baby, right, but he's always gonna be my baby. I always tell him, or how are you, or how are you guys feeling. I always ask them, how was your school. In fact, I have, because I'm seeing Nicole's drawings right there by the TV that she made today, I started doing for Nicole a little folder. So I started, because whenever she goes to school, she always does a drawing and she gives it to me. So I have started to put like the date since she started school in kinder.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to give it to her whenever she's bigger, like on her 18th, you know, for her to remember, que se acuerde. Y vea, a la mía ya no me va a hacer dibujos, but it's okay. I have played more with them and not be angry at them for like little things, you know, because sometimes like te tiran la leche and you're like, you get angry, you're like, oh my god, acabo de limpiar, blah, blah, blah. Like now I'm like, I have chilled down that. I'm like, you have to be careful, you know. But before I would be like, quítate, like yo lo limpio, blah, blah, blah. No, I have changed that too. I was like, no, here you go, like here are the things, you can clean it, it's okay. It was an accident, it's fine, things happen, but you have to pick it up, you know?
Yeah.
I have become más consciente of what I tell them. Because
I've heard you now. When I hear you, I'm like, ay, ya Isabel all the time.
Because whenever like my husband and I, we have an agreement, and no matter what happens between us two, like we can be mad at each other or whatever, but we always give each other a kiss before we go to work or whatever, and we always tell each other we love you, whatever, and to our kids like have a good day, la la. So it doesn't matter if we're mad. Like once we get out of that bedroom, if we're mad, we still give our kiss, we still say I love you and everything, because they do not have to see what had happened. Because
and then you forget, like, because you're mad, pero se te pasa, like,
yeah.
okay.
Like if me and him got into an argument or whatever's the reason that we were arguing or that's between me and him. We're a couple. They're our children. To them, we're their parents. And actually yesterday I was telling my son, because him and my daughter, they got into an argument and también enojados. And I was like, you know what, you guys, like if you can't solve that argument, because they were arguing about, it had to do with them doing something, like the time they were gonna do it or something. So it's like, if you guys cannot come to an agreement, I'm just telling you guys that for today there's no tablets, there's no Nintendos, and there's no phone time. I'm sorry. So you guys have to work it out, figure it out together, or you can stay like that. And then they were all like, my daughter said like, Mom, we have solved the issue. And then my son was like, stop, we haven't solved nothing. So I was like, I guess you guys are staying with that same. And but then I don't know what happened, that my son told my daughter a bad word or something. And then he came to me, and then she came and she told me, and he came and he told me, yes, I did told her that, because she got me mad y me sacó de mis casillas or whatever. So I was telling him, okay, but I'm just gonna tell you, how would you feel if she would tell you that, what you told her? And then he's all like, I would feel bad. And I was like, okay. So that gives you a perspective of how she feels. But now, because at first he was all like, no, well, it's her, like, it's not going to hurt me, I was like, well, but what if, like, your mom or your dad tells you that? And then he's all like, oh, no, like, I would be hurt. And I was telling him, well, to her, you're her big brother. Like, she looks up to you. Like, you are like a superhero to her. And you're telling her that, and you're breaking her heart. And then he, like, looks at me, and then he's all like, no, pues sí tienes razón. And then we went outside to the trampolines, and we were doing something, and then he's all like, I was talking to my daughter, and I was talking to her, and he's all like, it's because you don't let me talk to her. I want to apologize to her because I feel so bad.
I'm the guilt.
Yes, but I have changed that, like, not to, like, regañarlos, like, sí los regaño.
Pero que reflexionen.
But first, like, reflexiona. And then, like, you see, like, I want you to see how that is affecting you,
And that's
not
good.
nomás, like, gritarte hacia lo gachote y decirte
no va a
feo,
servir nada
porque no te va a servir de nada, and I'm just gonna
escuchas.
get mad,
Sí.
And my high blood pressure dijo, yo ya no estoy para esas cosas.
Y lo está mejor, because that way, in case they were big and they have an issue, they know how to solve it. And
Yes.
they'll try to solve it.
And they'll try to solve it. Yeah, pero that I have changed. Like, and besides that, like, I like to, like, break my time with them. Like, I like to take one day, dedicate to my son. One day, I dedicate to my daughter. One day, I dedicate to my husband. And así, me la paso. Yeah. Because quality time, like, I know, like, they're siblings, but they don't necessarily have to be there all the time. ¿Sí me entiendes? Like, there's family time where, like, the four of us can do things together and hang out and do things. But there's also a time where I should be able to listen to my son and to my daughter.
Está bien, porque una está más chiquita, so a veces dice, bueno, la atención, la chiquita ya la tiene de todo el mundo. Pero el grande, like, sometimes people forget, what about the big one? Like, they need attention too, they're your kids too.
Yes.
So that's a good idea.
And I think that has given us a better relationship, like between me and my son. I feel like our relationship has improved
Yeah, because you have quality time.
because now
And
we
that's
have
something
quality
you can-
time. Yeah, and besides that, like como cosas like here around my house, like whenever we do like cleaning, cosas así, like we try to do it all four, so it's not so heavy. You
On
know
one
what I
person.
mean? On one person, and we try to like break it out throughout the week. The way like whenever like el sábado or whatever that you want to do a little deep cleaning, it won't take you that long because we
You're
have.
not stressing.
Yeah, and
hating
you're all
everything, all
stressed out and
mad.
enojada ya, limpiando ya.
Si no lo hago yo, ¿quién lo va a hacer?
Yes.
We're
Like-
becoming our moms.
No. I felt like I haven't done that, Adilan, in a long time because that's something that I also have also changed on me, like on my mind. Like, like, honestly, I'm going to tell you, like, if there's dishes in my sink and I'm tired, like, I'm sorry, they can stay there, I guess, again, yo no sé que me aguanten hasta el siguiente día. I'm sorry, like, no. Like, I'm not going to put my house first and myself.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's always going to be dirty. It's always.
Sí.
If people live in a house, it's going to be dirty, no matter what.
No, es que no matter what happens, but también sabes una cosa que ayuda, like giving them responsibilities.
Sí.
Because
Es que enseñar.
like my daughter
Entonces,
es bien messy. Like yo no sé, la tuya sea igual, pero la mía,
No, sí, es
she's
igual.
so messy. But right now I haven't cleaned her room in 2 weeks. It looks decent, todavía se ve bien. Because she's becoming like se está poniendo más al pendiente, like, oh, I have to do my bed, you know, my mom won't come. Oh, I have to take out the trash from my room. My mom is not going to take it, you know, like give them
She's becoming like aware. Okay,
Sí.
this is what I need to do. This I need to clean this.
become like hacerlos responsables de sus cosas. But as well, make them enjoy them too. You know what I mean? Because like, ella no, mi antes no quería recoger nada. And I remember one time we went to this house and it was messy. And she even said, she's like, Mom, this house is so messy. Oh my God, whatever. And I was like, well, let me tell you, people that don't clean, this is what happens. And then you get these animals right here, and then these other animals come and visit you because now they have a bigger home because you provided them with more mess. So you can clean your room or you can close the door and the animals will go visit you only because your room is so messy. And after that she like comenzó a cambiar, se puso las pilas. No, así que tú digas, qué limpio está. No, tampoco. That would be a lie.
That's good. Yo me acuerdo que así cuando yo tenía un mes en mi apartamento, Melanie's used to always being in a clean house, so she would go fix everything. She's like se desesperaba y lo guardaba todo. I was like, damn. I was por Melanie, pero también, because they become clean.
They become clean.
Yeah.
Like, I remember que mi mamá, te digo, pues es que era limpia. Ella dice que limpiaba mucho la casa like, cuando vivíamos en México. But here, cuando vivíamos aquí en el departamento, yo no me acuerdo que limpiaba tanto. Yo creo que ya se había cansado, ya estaba cansada. Because we all go through a cleaning phase freak. Like, cuando like, quieres la casa impecable. And then you like get tired. It feels like to get your stress out. Like, you want, because andas allá talle, because, you know, you're mad, andas allá, like, I'm gonna get this mancha out or whatever. And andas allá talle. I feel. Pero
or
no
to take off their mind from what's going on.
O para distraerte or...
Because my mom was like that too, and I was like, damn. Y los sillones, todo lo que podía tocar, she would clean it. I'm like, damn. OCD casi.
Yo, like, whenever, like, yo me casé, I would always be, like, cleaning. Like, yo siempre, like... But it's, like, my mind works really weird. Because, like, yo... Like, honestly, yo me he dado cuenta. Like, for example, if I'm gonna work or if I'm gonna do something... I have to have my things, like, organized. Like, a mí me gusta, like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, así, todo como un abecedario. And then, like, clean, and then I can work. But if you have me things all over the place, I can work like that. I cannot concentrate. Like that triggers me.
Makes sense.
No sé, eso tendrá que ver con eso, ¿no? No sé, ¿será con los traumas que te dejan tus papás? No sé. But I would, like, a mí sí me pasaba eso. ¿A ti te pasa eso o no?
No.
No.
I mean, well, like at work, cuando tengo papeles por todos lados, I'm like, oh, like, nomás de verlos te estresas más. Y si los tienes, like stacked or, like, somehow more organized, you're like, oh, ahorita lo hago. Like, oh, that's not much. Pero si tienes papeles por todos lados, you're like,
Because yo, like, cuando trabajaba ahí contigo, like, yo tenía un pattern. Like, I would have to do, like, estas cosas para este tiempo, este tiempo, este tiempo, este tiempo, este tiempo. I would be silent, but I would do my things on my times.
I don't know. I never noticed. No, I do rebrujado. Whatever I feel like doing first. And then we'll keep going with the rest. Y si quiero, hago lo que tengo que hacer después. Y si no, pues no lo hago.
No haces nada.
No.
I'm just kidding. No.
Sí.
No, but yeah. Yo siento que el darle afecto a tus hijos es muy importante.
And quality time.
And quality time as well. Yes.
I'm sorry. I can't stop it.
No, it's okay.
And building relationships, healthy relationships, is very important.
Giving them time.
That too. Quality time.
Quality time. Listen to them.
To their needs. Teach them.
Teach them. Como dicen por ahí, porque muchas veces they say like, oh, yo le voy a dar a mi hijo todo lo que yo no tuve.
Sí, no.
But let me tell you, material things are not always going to be your answer. Because you don't want a person that can stay on social media or on their internet life for 10 hours while you work for another good 10 hours.
To support their lujos.
Yeah, o sea, no los puedes hacer unos inútiles. You have to teach them, but teach them with love. Like,
Patience.
no les grites. Have patience. You know, there's a time that we have all lost our patience with our kids, you know, and it's like, I need a break, babies. I'll be back.
Go. Deep breathing.
Go outside, take some air, fresh air, relax, meditate, and then you will come and see it on a different perspective.
More calm.
More calm. Yes. Do you think there's anything else that you would like to add? Well, you know what, Adelina? This time, let's close this episode where we have opened our hearts and our souls.
We almost cried.
We-
Tears.
We have cried, we have laughed, we have gone through a roller coaster of emotions with one thing. If there is something that you would like to tell your parents that you have never ever told them before.
You're asking this to me?
Yes.
On the spot.
I'm asking you, and then I'll tell you.
Something that we...
Do you want me to tell first?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I think...
Okay. Well, if I could go back in time and I could had talked to my dad, I would have forgiven what had happened. I would have had told him I loved him. And I would have had told him that it was never late to start a new relationship. To my mom, because I love her. And I have to say this in Spanish, you know. But para mi mamá, eres la persona más importante que tengo. Le doy gracias a Dios que te dio a ti como mi mamá. No importa que a veces no siempre estamos de acuerdo en todo, pero yo te amo con todo mi corazón y estoy muy orgullosa de que estés trabajando en cosas que te hagan feliz ahora a ti. And I would say to my parents, like, if God was to tell me right now, okay, I'm going to give you an opportunity for you to choose the perfect parents, I would not choose any different parents because I love my parents the way they are.
Damn, Lupita, you're putting me on the spot. Well, I would tell my dad too. I guess like I mean I can and I should someday. Let me just get guts to go. That I don't know, cause sometimes I want to go tell him like all the things he's done to us, but then I'm like, no, Dilene, that's not a good way to start. But well, yeah, we still love you. Like you're my dad, even though you've done whatever you've done, and we haven't had a great relationship, and it has affected me in many ways. And this is the way I am, because of it. But yeah, that I love him, and I would be willing to work it out, even though ya perdimos muchos años de no hablarnos. And hopefully we can better our relationship, and you can actually meet my daughter, and have a grandparent that's present, and maybe have a better relationship with her. And I know I do have another sibling, and hopefully he can change everything he didn't do with me with him. And my mom, I can't thank her enough. She's been with me with everything, like cada cosa que hago, en todo. No lo podría haber hecho sin mi mamá. Mi mamá me inspira a ser mejor, me regaña también cuando tengo que ser regañada, me dice no hagas esto, haz esto para ti mejor, no hagas lo que yo hice, aprende de mis errores también, aunque no aprendemos hasta que los vivimos, y we're like, oh, mi mamá tenía razón. But yeah, y pues darles las gracias porque sea lo que sea y como hayan sido, son nuestros papás, y si no hubiera sido por ellos, no hubiéramos ni estado aquí, no estaríamos aquí ahorita. So yeah, I think that's it.
Sí. Okay, and with this being said, we'll close out our episode number 6, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye.